Kobe, he was one of my biggest inspirations growing up. And then I got a chance to meet him when I was in college. He came to work out at my school before we had practice. And mind you, we practiced at 5:45 in the morning. So I slept in the locker room so I could, because I knew he was coming, so I slept in the locker room so that I would be there when he got there. And I got to watch him through like a little window in the training room because he made sure every door was closed, every window was shut. But there was one little window that me and one of my teammates got to watch part of his workout through. And afterwards, we got to meet him, and he talked to us, and that was pretty, it was exciting, it was humbling, and it inspired me even more.
I had the privilege of being able to play against Kobe Bryant a good amount of times, and then also just, have an opportunity to sign with the same agency that he was with, and he was the reason for that. And so I was able to study him a lot. It was almost like, I was in Harvard Business School, but, I was in Kobe Business School, studying his every move on and off the court. He was kind of the model figure of becoming a great player and what it looked like, in terms of his dedication on the court. The Mamba mentality was real. I was able to see that up close and personal a few times with the Olympic team. Forever indebted to him and all the influence he had on my career.
He was such an impact on my life because I wanted to have that Mamba mentality so bad, and just having that look on your face. And I feel like I had that moment in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Game 6. I feel like that was my Mamba moment, and I remember laying on the floor thinking like, this is my Mamba moment.
Kobe Bryant, to me, is one of the best players to ever step on the floor, play the game of basketball. To play for the Lakers is just special. To have opportunity to go up and play against him meant everything for me, because growing up, Kobe Bryant was always my favorite player to watch. And my favorite memory of him is the game he scored 81 points. I remember I was in middle school, and I came in to school that day, and one of my friends, his favorite player was Kobe, and he had the stats in the paper, and I just never forgot how amazing that was, and being able to watch that game live, it meant a lot to me, and it's a memory that I always will remember.
Obviously, growing up a Raptors fan, Kobe came and gave us 81, when I was a kid. I wouldn't say it was the best memory as a Raptors fan, but, just watching, him work that night, he was impeccable. One of the obviously best players to ever play the game. Just to watch his career, and obviously, growing up in Canada, being a big Steve Nash fan, and watching him take out Nash in the Western Conference year after year, it hurts, but, he was the real deal, and, everything he's done for this game, on so many levels. He's meant a lot for this game, and he's, taking the game to new levels, and, the game is where it is right now because of him.
Favorite memory of Kobe was when Matt Barnes faked the pass at him, and he didn't flinch. I feel like that's my favorite moment of Kobe.
My very first game in the NBA was in Portland, Oregon. I was playing for the Portland Trail Blazers, and we happened to be playing the Lakers. And for whatever reason, the vets allowed me to do the pregame referee huddle, and right in front of me was Kobe Bryant. I think maybe I was in shock because I don't really remember much about the exchange, but I do remember my aha moments of the NBA was I checked in the middle of the first quarter, and I went to stand on the free throw lane, and I looked to my right, and it was Kobe Bryant. And I really just thought to myself as a young 20-year-old, wow, I'm really in the NBA, and I'm standing next to a man who has had such a big impact on this league. And so that would be my Kobe Bryant memory.
Just watching him, mentor the next generation. My relationship with Dwayne, LeBron and guys like that. Just watching, how they looked up to him, how they reached out to him, for advice, not just on the court but off the court. How he was always willing to be there for those guys and not only help them be better basketball players but better men. So my admiration and respect for Kobe goes beyond the game of basketball. As a competitor, I've competed against him many of times, and on the court, I would say my fondest memory would be, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but when he hit the game-winning shot on Dwayne going the wrong way off the wrong leg. I was actually the guy that was double-teaming that inbound pass, and he grabbed me and threw me and I kind of let him get away with it because I didn't want to pick up a off-ball foul, and it was still a tough shot, and it was a great shot made by a great player.
My favorite memory of Kobe, there's a lot of good ones. Mine would probably have to be on Christmas Day when he was playing LeBron and D-Wade. Just the way that they were competing, going at it the whole game and, really competing. I just, learned a lot from that game, just seeing how high of a level they play the game at in the NBA.
Kobe, for me, I've had a lot of great conversations with him, but I just remember being a young player playing for the Bulls. I wanted to make a name for myself. And as soon as I checked into the game against the Lakers one time, Lou, I was like, you know what? I've guarded Kobe X amount of times throughout my career. You go over there and guard him for a possession. He scored immediately, obviously. But I actually got a bucket on him in that game, and it was just like, you know what? I am here in the league. Kobe is a hell of a player, probably one of the most unguardable ones ever. So it was a pleasure to be able to compete against him for the time being, and he will be missed, RIP.
I mean, Kobe was one of the greatest in these sports, and for me, I remember 2010 was my second, third year in the league, and we played the conference finals versus Lakers, and unfortunately we lost that series, but I'm never gonna forget what he did in that series. He was unbelievable. He was scoring 40, 45. Basically, he was unstoppable. And after one game, he came to me and gave me a pat on my back and said, "Kid, keep working. You're gonna do good things." And that was one of those moments that I have with Kobe, was something really special. And until this day, for me, he was one of the best players in the NBA history.
One thing I always have so much respect for is that he demanded the ball and demanded the moment when the moment and the stage was at its biggest. So I have a ton of, obviously, respect for him, and he will certainly forever be missed. The impact that he's had on this generation, but the generations to come, cannot be, understated.
For me, growing up, Kobe was my favorite player to ever watch, and to this day he still is. Just growing up in Orange County, California, you see Kobe all around you, and just all the hard work he put into the game of basketball, and just growing up, I remember having all his aesthetics. He would wear the little sweatband on his elbow, and then he'll throw the sleeve, maybe he'll throw the mask, maybe he'll buy his jersey, all the little things. Just he was almost like a superhero for us growing up. So Kobe is one of those guys that when we lost him, it was something different. So my favorite memory of him is just really what he brought to basketball every single day.